A few poor games, struggled to find form, and lost his place. Well, we're going to have a minute's silence here in Mestalla. Well observed minute silence there. So it's going to be Zaragoza playing in the change strip, red shirts, blue shorts, kicking from right to left on your screens, against the home side in the traditional black and white. And straight away it's Miguel, just interchanging passes with David Navarro. Once again looking for Benega to start pulling the strings. The little Argentinian has finally come good after joining from Boca Juniors. Had a poor first season, didn't really shine on loan at Atletico. At the start of the summer it looked as if he was going to join Everton in the Barclays Premier League. That seemed to even went as far as having a medical, and then it all seemed to go strangely amiss, and he returned to Everton and has been basically first choice for Unai Emery, giving them an extra bit of creativity in midfield, which it has to be said they had been missing in earlier games, especially with Ruben Baraja and Albelda, that veteran central midfield pair. Maybe just getting to the end of their sell-by date and just lacking the ability to open up defences. It's offside against Everton. Another player who looked as if he'd be on his way over the summer. Flicked on by David Villa. Didn't play for his side in midweek. Everton had a Europa League game away to Slavia Prague. Game they managed to snatch a draw from the jaws of victory. Really should have won. They were leading 2-0 and allowed their rivals to get right back into it. First foul of the game. Ander Herrera challenging David Villa, player who's broken through into the first team this year. Ander, who was looking close to a move, has to be said, to Athletic Bilbao over the summer, but at the last minute decided to sign a new contract with Zaragoza, who of course returned to the Primera Liga this season. Won their last game, Zaragoza, 2-1 at home to Almeria. Game they looked to have under control, but managed to complicate things with a couple of bad defensive errors. Got away with one in the second half. And of course before that, their previous game was a 6-1 defeat in the Camp Nou against FC Barcelona. It has to be said they got Barcelona on one of Barca's good days. And if you get Barca on one of their good days, sometimes all you can really do is sit back and take your medicine. They were a little bit disappointing in that game, and last weekend they lost the services of the former Liverpool, Portsmouth, Arsenal winger Jermaine Pennant with a slight muscle problem. There's Lopez Vallejo, veteran goalkeeper, former Osasuna player, moved to Villarreal, spent a long time on the subs bench at Villarreal lately, while Diego Lopez arrived at the club. The good, solid, reliable goalkeeper Lopez Vallejo. There's Mathieu giving that one away. Intercepted by Fabian Ayala. It's a player who spent many seasons at Valencia, winning the 2 league titles and the UEFA Cup with them. Not as quick as he used to be, but he still has the ability to impose himself physically on his opponent, Ayala. And he's playing close contact with the former Real Madrid stopper, Paco Pavón, one of the players in who the famous Galactico era Pacons and Zidanes was named. Certainly an underrated player in his time. Referee's giving the advantage to Valencia. It's with Juan Mata pulling that one back, and Pablo aiming to leave it for David Villa. That's intercepted though. And now it's Zaragoza looking to break forward. It's Paredes to Ander. Little midfielder looking to move things in the middle of the park. Eva Banega picks it up, gives it to Miguel. It's poor clearance picked up by Pablo Hernandez. Silva has got Villa outside him. Just waiting for the right moment. Here's David Villa looking to take on Paredes and manages to force a corner. Good attack there from Valencia, maybe just lacking a little bit of pace in the final third to break down the defence, but looking dangerous. And the referee just having a little word with Pavón for his push off the ball. There you can see it, just making sure that Villa actually has a bit naughty, a little kick at him as well. Miguel's cross blocked. Be another throw in for Valencia. It's great movement from Silva, but well defended by Pavón. Gives it back to Lopez Vallejo, who sends the ball not as far perhaps as he would have liked. Ander looks to flick it on. Back in Valencia's possession very quickly. There's Villa battling away with Paredes, who in the end makes the interception. So again, Miguel takes it, gets it back. Lifted into Villa. Maybe looking for the foul there, and that's a nice little bit of work out of the back from Ander. Looks for Everton. Good pace there. Emery saying the ball went out. Brazilian carries on, and his pass looking for Lafita is just intercepted by David Navarro. Obviously the Lafita transfer from Deportivo La Coruña was also a big talking point over the summer. Still not really clear if Zaragoza did play his buyout clause or not, or whether they paid it in time, or whether they paid the full buyout clause. Deportivo are still contesting the transfer. Maybe what they should realise that if the player did move to Valencia paying his buyout clause, it's because Lafita did want to move to Zaragoza. It's because he wanted to go back to the club where he began his career. Quick, skillful player Lafita. And there you have the Zaragoza coach, Marcelino, man who's done a good job at his previous clubs. Did a good job at Recreativo, got them promoted, moved to Racing Santander, took them to a very respectable position in the table, got Zaragoza promoted, and at the moment, well, they've not had a great start to the season back in the Primera Liga, but they haven't been disastrous either. And what they have managed to do is keep it tight in their home ground. In the moment, Zaragoza have got 3 wins and 2 draws, which gives them 11 points, which is pretty respectable. Here's Mateo. Once again, Banega at the heart of everything. Navarro. Cut out by Pavon at the expense of a throw. And there you got the Valencia dugout. Several players there who, of course, took part in that UEFA or Europa League game on Thursday. Mata looking to get into the area. It's an untidy challenge. And it is indeed a free kick. Lopez Vallejo trying to organise his wall. Various options for the free kick from Valencia. It's going to be either Pablo or Silva to take it. Pablo right-handed, Silva, so right-footed, Silva left. Only two men in the wall. That's pretty brave decision-taking from the goalkeeper. Silva goes for goal. It was headed clear. And the shot from Miguel doesn't trouble the scorers. 10 minutes gone here in Mestalla. Still Valencia 0, Zaragoza 0. Good header there from Lafita, who was back in defence, and there you get a better view of where Miguel's shot ended up. Lopez Vallejo sending it long. Once again, Everton just dropping a little bit deep, looking to flick on perhaps to Lafita. Nice. Pablo, who actually used to share a dressing room in Getafe with with Paredes, who's his opposite number, the Zaragoza left back. So they'll probably know their play inside out. Good pressure now from Ander Herrera. And he wins that one. Pulido comes forward to take it. Delabert and Matiao clear it, half clear it, goes to Everton. Snapshot. Takes a deflection, and that's a corner for the visitors. Had space there. And it was Navarro who just stuck a foot out. Jorge Lopez will take the corner, former Valencia player, very talented player. Just a little bit injury prone. But highly injury prone when he was at Valencia, has to be said. And there Albelda clears the danger with a little bit of fortune there as the ball rebounds off Paredes. Jorge Lopez spent several seasons at Valencia, 5 of them, but played less than 50 matches due to one injury after another. Then went to Racing Santander, where he coincided with Marcelino, the Zaragoza coach, who took him with him to the La Romareda season before last. There, Villa. We've seen him score a goal from distance this season, and he obviously fancies his chances of a second one. Saw Lopez Vallejo. You're just near his penalty spot, not a million miles away. And what it does, that is, it stops the keeper playing box to cut out through balls. A breezy night in Mestalla. Once again, good movement from Ander. And Matteo was a bit over-enthusiastic there. Let's have a look. Well, he'll say he got the ball, but he Went halfway through the player to get it. Throw in, however, said the referee. The pitch looks a little bit dry at the moment. Must have said it's not rained a great deal in Spain. Certainly not. Once you're not talking about the north of Spain, it's not rained a great deal. It's rained a great deal in the north of Spain recently, but in areas such as Valencia down the east coast, it hasn't, and you can tell that in the pitch, which looks a bit dusty, as Pavon is tugging back Villa all the way. And in the end, the Valencia counter-attack comes to nothing. Home fans aren't particularly happy, and neither is David Villa. And I think if we get a replay of that, you'll see why. Referee's saying, I played an advantage, but that doesn't mean he can still book Pavon if he wants to. Because clearly, if you're pulling someone's shirt off the back and they're 40 yards away from the ball, that is a punishable offence. As it is, the referee's not taking any action, and Lopez Vallejo will take the goal kick. Sends it long upfield. Belder mistimes his jump and it goes through to Everton. Aims to open it wide to Pulido, and the offside flag goes up against Everton. Just trying to stretch the Valencia defence when they get the chance, Zaragoza. Here's Juan Mata. Pulido concedes a throw-in. Once again, Mata gets there first. Miranda looks to interchange with Everton. Commits handball, pretends he gets hit in the face. The free plays on anyhow. It's dropped to Villa. And the offside flag is up. And lest we forget, David Villa, his first club in the Primera Liga. As you see the director's box. His first club in the Primera Liga was, of course, Zaragoza, and it was a huge quantity of goals he scored there. Well, there's a bit of controversy and there's a goal. What's the referee going to do here? Mata follows through. He's clearly not offside, but the linesman had flagged for an offside in a previous move. Well, the goal's standing, but I'm pretty sure the Zaragoza defenders are not going to be happy about that. And neither the Zaragoza, pardon me, and neither are the Zaragoza fans. Smart thinking from Mata. But the entire Zaragoza defence has stopped because the linesman's clearly raised his flag. Massed protests for Muniz Fernandez. There's Ponce having a word. And they're not that impressed on the Zaragoza bench either. Let's have a look. That may or may not be offside. The linesman, we can't see it there, raises his flag. Villa definitely tries to touch the ball. As you see there, goes through to Mata. Everyone's stopped because they've seen the linesman's flag. Now, obviously, the linesman's flag's not the key factor. It's got to be the referee's whistle. Very, very controversial goal in Mestalla. It's a pity in the replays we couldn't see the linesman, but he did definitely raise his flag for offside for Villa, who then made a gesture like he was going to try and flick the ball on. Anyhow, the goal stands 1-0 to Valencia, and it's Juan Mata. That's his fourth goal of the season. And there is Mata. Great skill to clear the ball upfield. Mateo wants the ball. So David Navarro across to Miguel. Unai Emery just pacing around his technical area. Ayala to Pavon. A lot of experience in this Zaragoza defence, it has to be said. It's what you need when you're back in the Primera Liga. And free kick for Zaragoza this time. Once again, it's the youngster Ander who's in the wars. It's a player who has come up through the ranks of the Zaragoza youth system. As usual, it'll be Jorge Lopez with a set piece. Delivered straight into Cesar's welcoming hands. Difficult ball though, because it's one of those all it needs is a little touch. And the keeper is left stranded. There you have the confirmation of the scoreline as we reach 20 minutes. Valencia leading 1-0 here in Mestalla. That goal scored by Juan Mata. A controversial goal with more than a hint of offside about it. There's David Navarro. Just a little tangle there with Lafita. David Navarro, of course, a player who was suspended for 6 months after his involvement in a very unpleasant incident on the pitch. And off the pitch, it has to be said, at the end of a UEFA Cup game between Valencia and Inter Milan, which involved basically a very large fight taking on, a running brawl, I think it would be described as. Certainly have access to the internet, it's worth looking up in YouTube. It's the sort of thing you really don't want to see on a football pitch. Another free kick for the home side, and first booking of the game. It's Pulido who is punished for that challenge. Make sure that Mathieu doesn't continue his run down the touchline. So if he's not trying to play the ball, Muniz Fernandez on this occasion is quite correct to book him. No offside this time. Pablo looked for the flick. Once again, Zaragoza look for the pace of Lafita and Everton. Here's Lafita, whose father also played a few games in the Zaragoza first team. Poncio, the experienced Argentinian, former River Plate player, spent a long time playing at right back for Zaragoza. Step forward into midfield now. Miguel concedes a throw-in midway through the first half. Valencia lead 1-0 against Zaragoza in the Mestalla Stadium. That goal scored 5 minutes ago by Juan Mata. Ball's gone out. Paredes takes that throw in. That's well cleared. Well, not that well cleared as it looks. But Poncio's shot isn't going to trouble anybody. Goal kick to Valencia. And there you get another replay of the goal. It's interesting what Villa does. And another foul. Back with Paredes. Nice work from Abel Aguilar. wins another throw-in for his side. Trying to respond, Zaragoza. Haven't really created any chances so far, though. Once again, Paredes does well. Decent cross to the far post. Jorge Lopez gets it into the area, and Navarro scrambles it away, and Cesar can't stop the corner. Jorge Lopez again with the set piece. You can see the breeze in Mestalla. It's another good delivery. Paredes got a reasonable contact on that one again, but once again nothing to trouble Cesar Sanchez. Valencia maintaining that 1-0 lead. Cesar sending it long. It's well defended by Abel Aguilar. Banega holds off Everton. That's a great ball, looking for Pablo. Just couldn't quite get there in time. Not really flowing yet, Valencia. That's probably because partly we haven't seen the little 24 getting enough of the ball, Eva Banega, who has matured considerably as a footballer in the last couple of years. That's poor from Mateo Lafita. He's given it short. Jorge Lopez hasn't got there, and neither has Ander. Another foul in midfield. It's Pulido. He's got to be careful. He is the only player who's been booked so far. Maybe a hint of obstruction there on David Silva. Pavon to Everton. Back with Paredes, seeing a lot of the ball, the left back. Jorge. Brought down by Navarro there, Everton, and Muniz Fernandez once again signals free kick. And it's another chance for Jorge Lopez to get the ball into the area. Just trying to test the ball, see if it's up to the right pressure. Seems that everyone's in agreement that it is. And Jorge ready to take the free kick. Oof. Poor delivery there from the midfielder. Paredes opts for safety, gives it all the way back to Lopez Vallejo, who returns it. Not really going anywhere with this, Zaragoza. So Lopez Vallejo sends it long. Decent leap from Abel Aguilar. But the ball quickly back in Valencia's possession. It's Miguel sending it down the line. Valencia looking for the speed of their strikers, Mata, Vidia, Pablo. Does give them an enormous advantage, that tricky forward line. None of them are particularly good in the air, particularly tall. Is pretty okay in the air, but they do have the element of pace, and they understand each other. They've worked together very well for the last 3 or 4 years. Maybe the last couple of years in Pablo's case, who came back after a successful loan spell with Getafe. Valencia tend to loan a lot of players to Getafe. Some of them come back and some of them remain at Getafe, such as the midfielder Gavilan. Got the ball out from under his feet, Pavon, and gets it back to Lopez Vallejo. And Mathieu clearing it out, goes to Eva, who coolly slots it along to David Navarro. Zaragoza looking to pressure the Valencia back line, which isn't a bad tactic, but obviously Valencia always have the option of looking for the long pass to one of their 4 strikers, whose pace will get them past two of the not the quickest defenders in the world. With Paredes, it's intercepted by Pablo, nips it inside to David Silva. He's got Mata on one side, he's got Villa the other, goes to Villa. Looking to take on Ayala. Has done so, got the shot in, but there Lopez Vallejo makes the claim. 30 minutes gone as Marcelino but looks to motivate his troops. Still 1-0 to Valencia here in the Mestalla Stadium. Pretty sure that result will be just what Valencia are looking for. It's not easy playing. It's probably harder playing the Europa League than it is the Champions League in many ways, because the Champions League you play on either Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's have a look. Ander got caught there. Just going to finish the Europa League. Of course, you play it on a Thursday, which gives you less recovery time before your league matches. Just turning away there, Ander, and he got caught. Let's have a look. Just clipped his left ankle. Matu right on the edge of the penalty area. Again, Cesar organising his defensive wall. Seven-man wall, if not 8. If not nearly everybody, let's be honest about it. Jorge Lopez takes it. No, he doesn't. He leaves it for Poncio. Thumped it through the wall, but wide of the goal. Decent chance for Zaragoza. I won't be particularly impressed by the lack of rigour there shown by a couple of players. Silva was a little bit lacklustre in his defensive duties. Valencia got away with it, however. Chance now for Zaragoza. Quick counter-attack. Everton, he's got pace. It's good defending though by Delabert. Everton formed one of Zaragoza's best attacking duos of recent seasons when he played alongside Diego Melito before Zaragoza were relegated. Here he is again. Oof, bit of a kung fu challenge there from Mata. Well, he could be in trouble here, Pulido. And that's his Poncio. 22 as opposed to 23. It's quite hard to decide which player committed the foul there. Was it Poncio or Abel Aguilar? I'm not sure if that was Abel or Poncio who was booked there. Looks like we're giving it to Abel Aguilar. Yeah, Jorge, decent pass there, looking for Lafita. It's 2 against 2. Lafita looking to take on Navarro, but good defending from David Navarro. It's picked up though by Abel, who in the end forces a corner off Miguel. Cesar continuing to motivate his defenders. Looking to swing this one in there, Jorge. And there's a bit of climbing on the far post there from Paco Pavón. Valencia got a throw in now on the far side. And another one. 10 minutes to go before half-time. Zaragoza have been looking to get back into this game after Mata's goal on 17 minutes. Had a bit of pressure, but they've not really been able to turn that pressure into goal-scoring opportunities. And Valencia are always going to be dangerous on the break. Looking for Everton, who had the pace to get through there. Instead it's gone to Jorge Lopez. Everton goes one way, Jorge cuts inside, looking for a shooting chance. Well blocked though by Albelda. Still Zaragoza in possession though. Poncio spreads it wide to Pulido. Needs a good delivery, it's a little bit too short, cleared by Delabert. Once again though, Paredes. Forced back, as you see there, Unai Emery, the Valencia coach, looking to direct his players. Still Zaragoza, Poncio, back to Pulido. Opening that one out to the left where Jorge Lopez has a bit of space. And once again though, Miguel gets across to provide the cover at the expense of another corner for the visitors. With a decent delivery, Cesar comes for this one, makes a good claim and then looks to deliver it quickly. David Villa's made the run. There he is being pressured by Anders, done well there, the youngster. Just gained a bit of time. Ayala and Villa. That's one of those, is that the striker leaning back or is it the defender pulling him over? Referee says it's the latter. Valencia have already taken the free kick and Villa's battling his way through. But Lopez Vallejo clears upfield. Throw in for Valencia. There you see some of the subs warming up on the sidelines at Mestalla. To tell you who they are, it's Moya, the reserve goalkeeper, Maduro, Marchena, Baraja, Nikola Zigic, big Serbian striker, good player, Joaquim Sanchez, and Alba, who's a young midfielder. Some rumours in the papers today that Valencia might be interested in Tottenham's Russian striker Roman Pavlyuchenko for the Christmas transfer window, or the New Year transfer window. Be a little bit harsh on Zigic, who certainly scored goals when given the chance. He's not been given many chances. Missing him in Santander, however, it has to be said. Substitutes for Zaragoza are Carrizo, reserve goalkeeper, started the season as first choice, but was relieved of his duties after the 6-1 defeat in the Camp Nou. There's Pablo Amo, central defender, Songo and Gabi, two midfielders, Babic, who's a defender, La Guardia, midfielder, and the striker Alex Sanchez. Talking to strikers, here come Valencia. It's Pablo Hernandez crossing it for the second goal of the game, and David Villa scored a lot of goals in his career. El Guaje, very few of them any easier than that one. 2-0 to Valencia. They've absorbed the pressure, and we said they were dangerous on the counter-attack. They are indeed lethal on the break. See if there's any offside this time. Nope. Far side, it's Pulido who breaks it. And this time, Villa's probably just behind the ball when it's played for him. Perfect counter-attack. Perfect low cross on Pablo. And David Villa just doesn't miss those, full stop. 2-0 to Valencia. Slide rule football. Absolutely nothing Lopez Vallejo could have done about it. Well, how can Zaragoza come back from this? Their last away game saw them receive 6 away from home. So far they've received 2, and Valencia looking pretty comfortable. Defending solidly, looking organised, and hitting their opponents on the break. Here's Villa again. Can he return the favourite? Silva. It's Pablo, sorry, 3-0. Zaragoza have absolutely fallen apart. And Valencia are absolutely taking them apart. Poor old Lopez Vallejo. Once again, absolutely sold down the river. Spotting with rain here in Mestalla, but absolutely worthwhile. Braving the conditions. Well, 2 minutes ago it was Pablo who crossed it for Villa. Now it's Villa who's crossed it for Pablo. Unmarked, 10 or 11 yards out, just keeps his calm. Side foots it past Lopez Vallejo. Zaragoza are taking another pasting away from home. All of a sudden it's very easy. Just 3 minutes ago Zaragoza were looking as if they were pressuring hard for an equaliser. Now they find themselves 3-0 down and with an absolute mountain to climb. And this result will keep Valencia in the top 4 of the table. Providing it stays like this, of course, still a long way to go, but the way it's looking, you'd say another Valencia goal is maybe a little bit more likely than a Zaragoza goal. He's gone down acting, saying he's been hurt there, Paredes, but it looks to me as if he's clearly taken out Silva. Let's see what Muniz Fernandez decides to do. He picks himself up, Paredes, but if he's hurt, it's probably of his own making. The fullback possibly a little bit lucky not to see a yellow card for deliberate obstruction. That's Jorge Lopez. Pavon. And Pulido. Lafita swings a decent delivery in. It was a good header there from Abel. Couldn't hit the target though. But possibly the best chance that Zaragoza have had this game. Possibly certainly the best move. Lovely cross from Lafita. Good movement from Abel. But unable to bring his side back into the match. So we're in the last minute of the first half. And Silva looking for a fourth. Difficult team talk awaiting Marcelino in the second half. His side were looking, well, at least in the game until just 5 minutes ago. Now they're looking decidedly not in the game. Some of this might be a question of second half damage limitation. But they've certainly got to look to try and up the rhythm. At the same time, knowing how to defend against those counter-attacks that Valencia have exploited so efficiently. Got 1 minute of injury time. Zaragoza losing possession rather tamely down in the touchline. Miguel under no hurry to take it. And why should he be? Because there, Muniz Fernandez blows the first time whistle. He'll be criticised perhaps for Unai Emery's men, who have been absolutely clinical on the break. Juan Mata, David Villa and Pablo Hernandez scoring the 3 goals. There you have the confirmation, 17, 40 and 42 minutes. Nothing the Zaragoza keeper Lopez Vallejo could do about any of them. And Zaragoza need something a bit special if they're going to get anything from this game. See if they can do it there. Lafita sends the ball straight into the arms of Cesar. Who actually had as many shots Zaragoza in the game, but it has to be said they've never had the same amount of danger as the home side. It's a home team who haven't really had the greatest of results in Mestalla this season, but are looking to put that to right against Zaragoza. Little touch there from the referee, Mr. Muniz Fernandez. Eva Banega sending it back to Delabert. Out for a throw in. Valencia coming into this game on the back of a 2-2 draw against Slavia Prague in the Europa League. Zaragoza after a 2-1 win last weekend against Almeria. Just finding a little bit hard away from home, Marcelino Zaragoza. So the last away game was a 6-1 hammering against Barcelona in the Camp Nou. One win away from home. What's considered only 1 point away from home from 4 games, 1 draw and 3 defeats is their total to date. And Ander looked lively at times, number 8. Wins a free kick there from Juan Mata. Only just 20 years old, Ander Herrera, born in Bilbao. And it'll be Jorge Lopez to take the free kick. It's a decent delivery, just a little bit too high. Had Cesar in 2 minds. Miguel clears. Pablo's touch just goes a little bit long. And Mata makes an important interception because Jorge was looking to get in behind him. It's Mateo looking to surge forward, just misses that one. It's with David Villa. Villa to Mata. Mateo keeps his run going. Pull that one back to Pablo. Still Pablo. Referee I think he's having a little word with his linesman about whether or not that might have been handball from Pulido. In the end, decides it isn't. Let's have a look. It would be a harsh one to give. It looks as if it's more chest than anything. Pulido, the one of 2 Zaragoza players booked in the game. The other one being, we think, Abel Aguilar. Possibly Ponce. It wasn't particularly clear which of the 2 had actually committed the foul that was punished. Once again, the dust just jumping up there on the pitch. Now the Zaragoza subs. Not a lot of experience among them, it has to be said. It's Miguel. Back to Cesar. Mateu once again gets up quite well. Already very experienced Mateu after having spent 7 years playing in France, product of the Sochaux youth system, joining from Toulouse this summer. Once again, Jorge. Chance of another free kick. Decent position. 30 yards out, perhaps. Taking his time, Muniz Fernandez. Indirect free kick. The referee had his hands up, and in the end, Poncio penalised for that little push on Mata. Five minutes gone in the second half, and so far no change to the half-time score. Still 3-0 to Valencia. Yellow card for Villa for a bit of the use of the arm. Against his former team as well, it has to be said. And if it's against Ayala, which it is, against one of his former teammates as well. Although former teammate at Valencia. It was a bit of an arm though, it's not an elbow or anything though, is it? And now you've seen worse. Villa was 2 years at Zaragoza, scored 30 goals. In 73 starts, 73 appearances in the BBVA Primera Liga. Here's Mata. Ooh, Silva was so close to taking that one into the area, as it is Zaragoza looking to clear. Mateu gets in there. No offside. Lopez Vallejo gets off his line quickly to stop Juan Mata sneaking in ahead of him. Another free kick. It just looks as if Zaragoza are going to be making a substitution soon. And the man we're seeing there is not the Zaragoza coach Marcelino Garcia, but it's his assistant Ruben Urria. Decent delivery. Navarro was very close to getting on the end of that one, David Navarro. It's Villa again. Always dangerous, David Villa. This time he's just overrun it. It's Poncio trying to bring the ball out. He's done well. Jorge Lopez is asking a lot of Ander though with that one. And here come Valencia once again, dangerous on the break. It's Pablo. Good save from Lopez Vallejo. And it just rolled past the post. Well, first save he's been able to make there, Lopez Vallejo, so I think he deserves a little bit of luck. Came out, narrowed his angle, and it has to be said, Mata probably should have scored his second goal of the game with that. As it is, he has to settle forward, taking the corner kick. There is Juan Mata, decent corner. Ayala got up well on the near post. And Everton clears it out. Lafita got a flick. Ooh. You don't want to do that to David Albelda. Slid on the veteran there, just catching his ankle. So I don't know if he actually did catch his ankle, or whether he just hurt himself as he landed there, Albelda. Delabert to Navarro. Valencia looked a lot more solid in defence since those two started to play together. See, Delabert's done very well after spending the last 4 years in the second division with Castellón. 26 years old. It's good to see a player being signed from a lower division and starting to do a good job, something that a lot of teams in Spain tend not to do. Not many clubs look for lower league signings. Valencia just looking up the coast to Castellón and finding what looks like a pretty good bargain. Another free kick for Zaragoza. Jorge Lopez once again drives it in. It's David Silva that clears. It falls to Pablo. Chance for David Villa now. Has he got the pace to go all the way? He's got Pablo on the outside. Are we in for a repeat? Oh, this time Lopez Vallejo has made a brilliant save. Carbon copy. I think he knows it of two of the three goals up to now. This time Lopez Vallejo made a very, very good save. This time they save for Banega in the wars. The referee says it should be just a throw-in. There's a bit of an arm in there from Poncio on his fellow countryman, maybe a former River Plate player, just giving a little reminder to a former Boca Juniors player. So close to his second goal there, Pablo. Oh, we're 11 minutes into the half, still no change to the score. Valencia looking pretty comfortable. Zaragoza, Abel looking to flick the ball through to Ander. Albelda making full use of his years of experience, his entire career at Valencia, except for one season at Villarreal 11 years ago. Approaching 400 league games. Yeah, Delabert in hard. Banega's touch just lets him down. As Pulido looks to make the overlap. Everton, not seen much of him in recent minutes. Had a bright start but faded along with a lot of his team as Valencia look to take control. It's Paredes. Abel. Lots of space for Lafita, but Cesar comes out. And makes the claim, looking to get things moving quickly, Valencia. Trying to draw Zaragoza into their own half before launching another one of those counter-attacks. It's with Miguel. Bit of a nothing ball there from Albelda. Back to where we were a minute ago. Pavon out jumps Silva, and that's Hoyt skywards. Albelda a bit stronger there than Lafita, although the referee decrees it's a foul. So it's Poncio back in his second spell with Zaragoza, joined from Newell's Old Boys. Went to River Plate and then returned last year when they were in the second division. Now Albelda battling away in the middle. It's with Pavon. Opens that one out nicely to Pulido. Jorge Lopez looking for the quick return ball. A little bit too quick. Seconds away from the hour. 15 minutes gone in the second half. Already no change to the score. 3-0 to Valencia. And they're looking very comfortable on it so far. Oh dear. Chipped over Mateo's head there from Eva Banega. Left a stud there on Jorge Lopez. Referee's given the free kick. Matthew half clears, Eva sends it skywards. Zaragoza continue to pressure, but there Ayala concedes a throw-in, which Mateo will take. It's interesting to see why Ramon Urria is in the technical area for Zaragoza rather than Marcelino at the moment. I wonder if the coach has been sent off or advised to go to the stands after saying anything to the referee at half-time. Certainly the first goal looked to be offside. There was a linesman's flag raised. The referee then played on. In fact, there is Marcelino in the stands. I wonder if that's a personal decision or whether the referee Muñiz Fernandez actually sent him there. It's all gone a little bit quiet at the moment. Cesar to take a goal kick. Sending it long. Villa does well with his back to goal. It's with David Silva. Once again, Valencia lightning quick on the break. That's pulled back. Villa can't get there. Ayala. Calm as you like. Just nods that one back into the arms of his goalkeeper, and Zaragoza look to get things going again. Everton down in the corner. Aggressive defending between Dalaver and Mateo. And Valencia have a goal kick. Zaragoza meanwhile prepare their first substitution of the game. It looks as if it's going to be Babic coming on. Marko Babic. There he is indeed, Babic coming on for Jorge Lopez, the Croatian midfielder, signed from Hertha Berlin. Had a short spell in Spain previously, actually, with Betis. And Lafite was booked for that challenge. Second Zaragoza player, third Zaragoza player booked, along with Pulido and Abel Aguilar. Well, Zaragoza will be looking for Babic to just give a little bit more steel into midfield. There you have him. And this game, Zaragoza really need a goal in the near future if they're going to have any chance of sneaking something from this game. At the moment, it's not looking likely, has to be said. Neither one nor the other. Here is Babic, first chance. Well, he stumped that at Cesar. And typical, you say they don't look like they're going to score, and they score. It's Abel Aguilar. Took advantage of that punched clearance from Cesar to give Zaragoza a possible lifeline. So a little warning to Zaragoza. I think they pulled it back from 3-0 to 3-1 in the Camp Nou a couple of weeks ago. Lack of tension though in the Valencia side there. Babic had lots of space to line up his shot. He's just come on, absolutely thumped it. Cesar dealt with it as best he could, but left the ball at the edge of his area for Abel to give Zaragoza a bit of a lifeline. Well, that spikes some more life from Marcelino's side. We saw just on Saturday night how Atletico Madrid scored twice in a minute to make Real Madrid suffer in the Madrid derby. Can Zaragoza do something else, something likewise? So certainly this crowd in Valencia, in Mestalla, once their team are under pressure, tend to get very nervous. They're not really much of a help on occasions, more of a hindrance. Here's Mata. He's got Villa outside him. There is Villa. Skips past Pulido. Gives it back to Juan Mata, but it's offside. Promising move there from Valencia. Here's the goal again. Babic says step off him. And there's a clear sight of goal. It's a lot of velocity, and there Abel was just a little bit quicker to react. Poor defending from Valencia, if you really have to criticise it. Maybe Cesar should have dealt with it a little bit better as well. And that's better from Delabert, just shepherding it out as Zaragoza quickly react to that goal by making a second substitution. It's Gabi who's going to replace Poncio. Gabi, former Atletico Madrid youngster, never really worked from Atletico. He had a great season at Getafe. Rejoined Atletico, and once again it just didn't really go as it was hoped it would. He's since went to Zaragoza, where he has become an ever-present. Looks to have found his feet in the team, more or less. Still quite young, still only just 26 years old. Gabriel Fernandez. So Zaragoza just got one change left. Valencia haven't made any substitutions so far in the game. Just for Zaragoza, just to recap, they brought on Babic for Jorge Lopez, and they brought on Gabi for Poncio. So two changes in midfield, looking to get a bit more energy, a little bit more freshness onto the pitch. Corner for Valencia. Silva flicks that one in, good delivery. Aguilla. Mata. Looking for Pablo. Another throw in for Valencia. 22 minutes left to go. Mateu to take it. Lopez Vallejo collects. And goes for route one. Well, if they want to make another attacking change, they've got Alex Sanchez, a young striker on the bench. Zaragoza, of course, Arizmendi can't play today, he's injured. The Valencia player down on the far side. Everton's chasing that one and he isn't going to get it. Will go down for a goal kick and Pablo will get a little bit of treatment. Arizmendi, a former Valencia player actually, but has a knee injury for this game. Oof, well, I'll tell you what, the referee had seen that from Paredes. That is eminently punishable what he's done there to Pablo Hernandez. Just gone across there, Paredes. And well, you've all seen it. Should really have been a booking. Maybe Muniz Fernandez didn't see it, but it did look to be in his line of vision. We're approaching the last 20 minutes of the game. Zaragoza have given themselves a bit of a lifeline with a goal from Abel Aguilar on 65 minutes, just 5 minutes ago. Still trail though 3-1, those Valencia goals scored by Juan Mata, David Villa and Pablo Hernandez. Here's Silva. Once again aimed in low. Zaragoza struggling to clear with Eva Banega. Lovely little bit of trickery there from the Argentinian. Draws the foul out of Gabi. That'll be a free kick for Valencia. That's Pablo to take it. Here he is, Pablo Hernandez, a good delivery in there. It's flicked on by Abel, corner for Valencia. It's good for Valencia in two ways. It just allows the clock to carry on ticking down. And it gives them another chance to get that ball into the Zaragoza box. Valencia's fourth corner of the night. It'll be Juan Mata to take it. So he's aiming for the far post. Lopez Vallejo does well with that under pressure from Mateu. Vicious curling ball there. Taking advantage of the wind there, Mata. That's really well there, the Zaragoza keeper. And this time it'll be Pablo to jog down to the corner flag. Certainly in no great hurry to do so. There is Pablo's corner, once again aimed at the near post this time. Quickly recovered by Valencia, it's Miguel. Just to slip that one over the top. No offside flag. And Everton forced to concede another corner. I think he wanted the option of sending it back to his keeper, probably correctly. Lopez Vallejo didn't want to be given the clearance with so many players right on top of him. So good spell of pressure from Valencia. Zaragoza, frustratingly for them, unable to clear their lines. Decent delivery once again. Lopez Vallejo, full stretch, makes the clearance, or half clearance, only as far as Mateu. Clipped in there, Navarro, brilliant save from Lopez Vallejo. That really looked as if it had 4-1 written all over it. Still some defending to do though. It's Pablo. He's got past the first challenge. That's another great save and he's recovered. Well, if he wanted the chance to shine, the former Osasuna and Villarreal keeper, he's been given the opportunity in the last few minutes. Poor defending there from Pulido. He's going for goal, Pablo. Lopez Vallejo claws it away from Mateu. and then stops it going in from Paredes, and that was a great save from Navarro. Point blank reactions from the keeper. Even if he receives another goal, certainly shown enough that he deserves to be first choice in the Zaragoza team at the moment, ahead of the former River Plate and Lazio keeper Juan Pablo Carrizo. And this is the third choice, third change for Zaragoza. It's going to be Lafita come off. Not really done a great deal today, Lafita. And it's the young striker, Alex Sanchez, who comes on. Can't really tell you too much about Alex. He's a product of the Zaragoza youth system. Alejandro Sanchez Lopez. I'm afraid that is all the information the Zaragoza website will afford us. Obviously given his chance today because the injuries to Arizmendi and of course Uche, who is going to be out for most of the season with a knee injury. So they are a little bit lightweight up front today, Zaragoza, and of course there's no Jermaine Pennant either. 15 minutes to go. That's Luis Fernandez. Books Cesar, I think, for time wasting. Second Valencia player booked along with David Villa. And Valencia going to make a couple of substitutions. That's Ruben Baraja, who looks as if he's getting ready for action. Might be from someone like Mata. Just to have a little bit more steel in the middle of the park. There's Banega. When he's good, he's very good, Eva Banega. And that was very nearly a great pass for Silva. And the confirmation of Cesar's booking. A bit of a thigh problem there, Banega. Which might be a factor in who comes on for Valencia. This might be bad news for Eva. He does look to just half pull up there, doesn't he? I think it's in the first part of that move that he might just tweak something at the top of his thigh. Well, Valencia have made the change. Baraja has come on. And so we're back to the veteran pairing, Ruben Baraja and David Albelda, that was so productive for Valencia in the Rafa Benitez era. And of course they won 2 league titles and the UEFA Cup before Benitez took the chance to go to Liverpool. And you get the confirmation of the change. And Baraja now 34 years old. Came up for the youth system at Valladolid before going to Atletico Madrid, and from there to Valencia, where he has spent the last 10 years. Well, a Zaragoza goal now would make it a little bit interesting. They've not really been able to create much in the 10 or 15 minutes since Abel scored. Does well there, Cesar. But if they could get another chance in the next few minutes, it would make for a very entertaining last 10. especially given the Valencia fans' tendency to get a little bit jumpy in the closing minutes of games if it's a bit tight. Although at the moment they're doing their very best to try and inspire a little bit of a reaction from their team. It's not going to be a bit flat from Valencia. They look very sharp in the first period. Great 10-minute spell before half-time. But you get the feeling that perhaps after that midweek game Thursday night, trip back from Prague, that's a 2.5 hour flight, they're just trying to get by with the law of minimum effort, just trying to conserve a bit of energy. They all know that after this, it's the international break. Baraja, which might mean a couple of the players having to go on long international flights, play World Cup qualifiers or World Cup knockout matches. Some of them might just get a little couple of days holiday. Going to this stage of the season is always very welcome. As Pablo will be hoping to be named in the Spain squad to play Argentina next weekend. As Villa pulls it back, good block on Mata. Navarro goes through on Everton. Oh, that ball is wasted. Pulido have made a good run down the right to open space up. Food and drink for a central defender like Ayala. Miguel sends it skywards again as we're into the last 10 minutes in Mestalla. Valencia looking pretty comfy, 3-1. And the clock ticking down on Zaragoza. Nueva Banega on the pitch now for Valencia. Of course, he was replaced by Baraja a few moments ago. So it'll be Baraja to take the free kick. So they're looking to chip it into the area. They're not the tallest team, Valencia, in attack. But that was well won by Pablo. In fact, it was David Navarro who strode forward. Just had a little bit of height from that free kick. Miguel wins another challenge, sends another ball skywards, and Ayala returns it. It's again Baraja. Nice movement from Silva. Opens it out to Juan Mata. Mateo tries the overlap. Silva decides to go inside. It's Baraja again. Ooh, he's very close to finding Pablo, but it was intercepted. There, Abel Aguilar. Picked out Gabi, but Gabi wasn't able to find Alex. Young striker there. Good delivery from Ander, well defended by Navarro, and Mateo once again clears to the halfway line. Clock still ticking down. Zaragoza pressing but not really able to create enough clear-cut occasions and clear-cut scoring opportunities. Pulido's battling away. Alex does his very best to get out of the way and avoid any offside. Albelda clears, and it's with Silva, who got taken out there by Ayala, who earns himself a well-deserved booking on his return to his former home ground. Valencia fans shouldn't complain that much. He's done that time after time and time after time in his 8 years as a Valencia player. It's hard to believe this is his third season with Zaragoza. Roberto Fabian Ayala, 36 years old. what is the referee doing? Or maybe it was because Ayala was off the pitch. The actual obstruction must have taken off the pitch, which is why he's decided to give a drop ball. Curious decision from Muniz Fernandez. It amused even the Zaragoza coach, Marcelino. Just 6 minutes of normal time left. Delabert lets that one roll out. Valencia will take the throw in. Needed a clearance there from Navarro. He set it up for Babic, who knocked the ball in. And Albelda probably thinks that in the crowd is the best place for the ball to be. So Zaragoza still unable to create much in attack. It's with Mata. Just got caught from behind there by Ander. Looks to have done more damage to himself than to his rival. And Valencia just looking fluid in that last third, although Villa, for once, not understanding the intentions of his teammates. So the good thing is that Pablo, Villa, Silva and Mata do seem to read each other's intentions perfectly well. We're now into the last 5, Zaragoza. Looking for a scoring chance there. Delabert doing well. As Ander just looking to get round the back. Still only 20 years old, the young Bilbaíno. As Valencia going to bring on the hard man, Carlos Marchena, just to tighten things up in these closing moments. Gabi, decent corner, far post. That is 2-1, is it? No, it isn't, it's offside. Babic stabbing the ball into the roof of the net. I have to say it looked as if it was. On first instance, should the replay clear it up. Ooh, yes. Not sure if Everton is, but I think that Babic is just ahead of the ball when Everton touches it. Tight decision, but it should serve as a warning to Valencia there. They were not particularly tight at the back and they so nearly paid for it. That really would have made life a little bit unpleasant in the closing minutes. And that is the moment that Valencia coach Unai Emery decides to bring on Carlos Marchena for his veteran David Albelda. Marchena, of course, plays at centre defence for Spain. This year he spent more time playing in central midfield for Valencia, but he'll certainly give them that little extra bit of power in the air in the closing minutes. Another long-term servant at the club, Marchena. Joined in the 2001-2002 season. So a disallowed goal. Try and spare something more from Zaragoza in the closing moments. 2.5 minutes plus injury time to sneak a point from this. It's Pulido looking to get past Mateo, who's done well. Throw into the visitors. There's Gabi battling away. Pulido inside to Ander. Lovely touch there. And the referee penalising Alex for a dive, by the looks of things. Fourth Zaragoza player booked. Not sure if it's a deliberate dive or a fall. Maybe the referee could have kept his hand in his pocket for that one. And there's Alex jumping against Dalabert, losing out. Marchena, a little bit slow there, maybe just lacking a bit of match rhythm. So once again, Babic, Abel Aguilar, the goal scorer. Cross to Ander, looking to hit it on his left foot. Got a decent strike out of it, Ander Herrera. But curled the ball just wide of the post. Another substitution, it's Joaquim Sanchez coming on for Pablo. Straight swap, just to kill a little bit of time. Joaquim Sanchez, former Spain international, replacing the man who scored Valencia's third goal of the night and set up the second. Joaquim, who scored for Valencia midweek. Just got caught there, Silva. As we go into injury time, and there's 4 minutes of which Valencia will have to hold on. Once again, Babic just looked as if he was going to inspire a little bit more from his side when he came on. Set up the Zaragoza goal with that powerful shot. I've really seen enough of the ball. Is Abel Aguilar, Ander Herrera. Neat little interchange with Pulido. Good movement again from Ander. Looking to skip inside Dalabert, who manages to avoid a corner. It's dropped kindly for Gabi though. Still can't get a shot in Zaragoza. This time they have, but Cesar in the end makes a comfortable claim. Finally Paredes, but the keeper got a good view of that all the way through. And the total of shots 11 against 12, but Valencia's more effective obviously, and from normally a bit closer range. Not really had many chances from inside their opponent's half, the visitors. Looking to build from the back, Zaragoza. Well, it's dropped kindly to Ander. With Everton. Once again, that shot takes a deflection, but Cesar reacts quickly and saves a corner. Does look as if it's not going to be Zaragoza's night here in the Mestalla Stadium. Their poor away record looks as if it's going to go to only 1 point from 6 away games, 5 defeats and a draw. Means they'll remain under pressure in every game they play in La Romareda until they can start getting something on their travels. That was unlucky, Alex. Didn't quite time his run. Goes back to Lopez Vallejo. Once again opts to play it short. Pulido. Delabert. And Cesar. Gabi, but this time Ander gives it away. Goes to Matt, who's a chance. One last chance for Valencia on the break. In the end, Abel Aguilar gets back to cover, but we're in the last 30 seconds of the game. Valencia have a throw-in. Marcelino is allowed out of his position. He clearly must have been sent off for saying something to the referee. We're in the closing moments of the match, which is just petering out here. Valencia, when Mr. Muniz Fernandez blows his whistle, are going to run out 3-1 winners. Those 2 goals just before half-time, really the decisive factor in 3 more points for Unai Emery's team. Opened the scoring on 17 minutes with that controversial Juan Mata goal. Was it offside? Mata wasn't.